The big update for the day coming in from India's capital of Delhi. The Bharatiya Janata Party looks set to form the next government in the Indian capital with leads available for all 70 seats. The BJP remained well above the majority mark with 47 seats against AAP's 23. The BJP surged to a massive lead in the 70-member Legislative Assembly. The incumbent Aam Aadmi Party suffered major embarrassment as its top leader Arvind Kejriwal also lost his seat. The former Chief Minister is in fact lost to BJP's Parvesh Singh Verma in New Delhi. Another AAP bigwig, former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia also lost. Sisodia conceded defeat against his BJP opponent in Jangpura. However, Chief Minister Atishi retained her seat in Kalkaji. Those were the latest updates that we just read out for you. BJP well above the majority mark of 36 so far with 47 seats against AAP's 23. The BJP has surged to a massive lead in the 70-member Legislative Assembly. The incumbent Aam Aadmi Party has suffered major embarrassment as Arvind Kejriwal has lost his seat, although Atishi has won from her constituency of Kalkaji, defeating Ramesh Biduri of BJP. Okay, for more, we are now being joined by WION's correspondent Siddhant Sibal from BJP headquarters in New Delhi. We also have with us Dharamjot Kaur, our correspondent, who's also at the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. Let me first go across to you, Siddhant. Siddhant, you're seeing scenes of jubilation around you. Can you describe them a little more for the sake of our viewers?
Well, it's a festive atmosphere at the BJP's Delhi headquarters, the regional Delhi headquarters. We are, of course, awaiting more developments in terms of the political comments by the BJP top leaders. But since morning, we have seen political leaders making a beeline here since it was clear that BJP is making major leads. Now, we know that the BJP's victory in the Delhi elections is a major development, not only in terms of getting power back after 27 years, but the loss of the Aam Aadmi Party, which of course was ruling Delhi for 10 years. Now, essentially, we know that if I can first show you the visuals, essentially now it's awaited that when the Indian Prime Minister will be addressing, because it's by tradition he addresses BJP Karyakartas. But here you go, the visuals, the flags are up, and of course a lot of media personnel present on the ground as well. It is celebratory and festive atmosphere. But if I can put you in terms of the geopolitical context, in terms of the foreign policy context as well, this victory is coming exactly 1 week before the Indian Prime Minister travels to United States and meets the US President Donald Trump. And clearly, when he sits with Donald Trump, he will, of course, have a big political development. And that, of course, helps in having more conversations in terms of having outcomes. And essentially, we know that this is something that is just not a major India headline. This is a major international headline as well. It gives a major morale booster for the BJP party, and of course time for introspection for the Aam Aadmi Party, even as its stalwart leaders including Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal face losses.
Siddhant, that's a very interesting point that you mentioned there. You say that this is an international, this victory has international significance for the BJP, especially ahead of PM Narendra Modi's visit to meet President Donald Trump. Explain to us a little more about this. How is a win for BJP in the national capital so significant as regards geopolitics?
Well, essentially, we know that BJP is now in power since over 10 years. This is the third term of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And we have seen geopolitically how the Indian Prime Minister has been sought after by the world leaders as well. Now, there you have Donald Trump having his own non-consecutive victory as well. But for him, he has lauded Indian Prime Minister for his political acumen. We know the political chemistry as well. And any victory, any political victory for a politician at the international stage when he speaks to other world leaders does help in conversation, because the other leader knows the backdrop about it. Of course, I do not know what will be the conversation at the public sphere. We know that there will be a press statement by both the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Donald Trump, but I won't be surprised if Donald Trump mentions about the Indian Prime Minister's political acumen in terms of the election victories. It is I do not know any such example in a democratic politics, or of course a democratic society, where a leader has been able to consecutively win elections and has been there ruling for almost 3 terms. So definitely the Americans know the political mandate the Indian Prime Minister enjoy, and that of course is something that will be respected with a lot of outcomes.
Dharamjot, let me just go across to you now. I'm told you are pretty much where Siddhant is also stationed, outside the BJP headquarters. We already saw the scenes of jubilation there. Siddhant mentioned that there is also going to be a meeting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to have with BJP leaders. Would you be able to tell us what's on the agenda there?
Well, the win is pretty much secure, Isha, for the Bharatiya Janata Party. They're making a very substantial and a massive comeback after almost 28 years of not being in power in the national capital. So this is clearly a very momentous occasion for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and while celebrations are continuing, where even I'm at right now, the meeting primarily will focus not just on the victory, not just on the Prime Minister's upcoming speech in the evening. There's also going to be a very important question that needs to be answered, which is who is going to be the next Chief Minister of Delhi now, and which one of the BJP leaders is in the running. Now, clearly we've seen that, the Arvind Kejriwal has been defeated by his BJP counterpart. So Paresh Verma's name is doing the rounds with respect to, not just, winning his seat, but winning it against Arvind Kejriwal, which is not a small feat. So, his role in this particular election, his contribution is definitely going to put him in the running with respect to becoming, Delhi's chief minister going forward. A lot of other senior leadership names will also be floated around. So right now it's a big decision for the BJP. Amid all the celebrations, amid all the furor and that you see behind me, they're going to have to take many decisions with respect to who is going to form this particular government. Also many questions about, well, we've seen what the BJP election manifesto has been like, what they've promised in terms of Prime Minister Modi's guarantees. How many of those are really implemented, since we've seen quite a few that overlap with the existing guarantees of the Aam Aadmi Party as well? Do those continue? Do those policies continue under the BJP's tenure in the national capital? What other changes will the BJP make in Delhi now that they have what they've been referring to as the double engine mechanism? That was their vision. They've achieved it in the capital. Now it's all about implementation.
What names are being floated around for the next chief minister's position?
Well, like I mentioned, Paresh Verma is one of the biggest names that is at the forefront right now. Speculation is rife because he's clearly led a very successful campaign here in Delhi. He launched a campaign of, Save Delhi from Kejriwal quite a few years ago. It has successfully culminated into a very decisive victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is the biggest name that is doing rounds. The party president in Delhi could be a plausible name. Other leaders like the Vice President, Secretary General, all the senior leadership that is contested is in equal running, Isha. But again, at the end of the day, what's going to count is who's played the biggest role in defeating a man who has held on to power for so long, for more than 10 years in the national capital. And Arvind Kejriwal is no veteran leader, let me remind you. The party only came to, was formed in 2011, contested the first elections in 2013, and then from 2015 onwards, they've been in such a decisive position of power with so many seats that they secured in 2 consecutive elections. To defeat that, and to defeat Arvind Kejriwal particularly, is going to be a big pat on the back for Parvesh Verma, which might potentially convert into a chief ministerial position for him.
Okay, thank you, Dharamjot, for those. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.